What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Yesterday, we got a massive announcement coming out of Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, so let's get right into it because this is some pretty big news. They announced that they are not removing one ride, but multiple major attractions, including multiple record-breaking rides. This includes rides like Zumanjaro, Green Lantern, and Kingda Ka, the tallest and fastest coaster in the United States. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the rides closing, the area where the rides are closing, and what could possibly replace these rides in the near or far future. Let's get right into it. This is Cedar Flags, and today, we're going to be talking about Six Flags Great Adventure and their ride closures. Now, we aren't just seeing a major ride be removed. In the past, we've seen major rides be removed at these parks, and we just have a decent amount of speculation for them. But here, we have an entire area of the park, and this area spans all the way from the Golden Kingdom to the boardwalk section of the park. To say the least, this is a very historic decision because of how big this area is, and the rides that are being removed. The first ride I want to talk about is the Great Adventure Skyway. So this opened up a lot earlier than a lot of the rides we're going to be talking about, and it was not in this big plot of land that all the other rides are closing. So I'm not sure I will be able to see a new major coaster in the spot of the Skyway, but I could see some stuff replacing the station, and when it comes to this big plot of land, the Skyway is kind of separate. When it comes to the plot of land I'm talking about, they are still removing a great amount of rides. First off is Twister, which is a Huss topspin. This opened up in 1999 and has been in the location ever since, flipping riders upside down, and I have to say, I am a big fan of these rides, and it's sad to see more and more of these going away. Up next is Green Lantern. This is the B&M stand-up coaster. It opened up in 1997 at Kentucky Kingdom in Louisville as Chang, though it ended up closing there, and from 2009 to 2011, it was relocated to Six Flags Great Adventure, where it has been ever since. I'm really hoping that they do relocate this ride, but I'm not 100% sure. I've always been a huge fan of this roller coaster, and I always thought Green Lantern was a phenomenal B&M looper. This ride did have mixed reviews by coaster enthusiasts, but now we get to some big ones. First off, I want to talk about Zumanjaro Drop of Doom, which is connected to the Kingda Ka structure. This opened up in 2014 as the world's tallest drop tower, and besides just being a record breaker, it is one of my favorite drop towers of all time. It has comfy modern restraints, and it has a very long, sustained and airtime-filled drop. Now, I wasn't shocked to see rides like Twister and Green Lantern go, but I was very shocked to see Kingda Ka go. This is the tallest and fastest coaster in North America, and the coaster that held the record as the world's tallest for almost 2 decades. Its signature 456-foot top hat is truly an icon. I got to ride this both in 2022 and this past year in 2024, and I truly thought that would not be the end of it. I mean, Kingda Ka is truly one of the most iconic roller coasters of all time. Though it's not one of the longest coasters, it was the tallest and fastest to ever operate in the United States, and it's hard to find a coaster element as eye-catching and iconic as Kingda Ka's top hat. So like I said earlier, these rides, except for the Skyway, make up a massive area, a massive plot of land in the front of the park, where I could see something very new coming very soon. So, this area is huge. Like I said, they're not removing just one ride or 2 rides, they are removing 2 whole areas of rides in this park. This will stretch out to about 15 acres, which is a massive amount of land, especially for just one roller coaster. We could very well see multiple attractions headlined by a main attraction in this area, or maybe even 2 separate coasters altogether. This area is very big, and this area is separated, like I said, into 2 separate areas, the Golden Kingdom, which is grassy and has lots of scenery, and the boardwalk, which is next to the parking lot. These are 2 very different looking areas, so I could see a revamp somehow, but keeping the theming of both areas in a way. Finally, let's get to the ride's replacement. Now, this is what I like to do, like to talk about the ride's replacements. It's extremely sad to see Kingda Ka go and all these other rides, but with such a massive, famous, and remarkable coaster being removed, I am expecting something massive. What we do know is that the company is planning on spending over $1 billion in the upcoming years to expand further their amusement parks. And Six Flags Great Adventure looks to be one of them, as they announced a record-breaking launch coaster in 2026. That's all we know, and the rest is speculation. But, like I said, it's replacing Kingda Ka. I could see something truly massive. Now, though nothing is confirmed, I could see 3 main types of coasters, all by the same manufacturer, replacing this ride, and let's get right into it. So, these 3 rides fall under the family of Mack multi-launches. I think a Mack Rides coaster, especially with the modern technology that they have, would work incredibly at this park, and possibly have a new headline coaster at the front. First off, I want to talk about their standard launch coasters. These are rides like Copperhead Strike, Helix, and Stardust Racers, which is opening up next year. These rides can do a lot, they have a lot of different forces and a lot of different elements, and it could either be a small coaster or it could be massive and fast. And knowing the elements that Mack could do, this would be a very well-rounded coaster. Up next is a variant of the Mack multi-launch. It is the Mack Striker coaster. This is a 4-across Mack multi-launch that provides some more elements and more unique features. The first one opened up as Voltron at Europa Park this past year, and the reviews are very, very overwhelmingly positive. People love this ride, and people cannot wait to see the future of this ride model. Next up for the Mack Ride coasters, I want to talk about an Extreme Spinner. This has got to be one of my favorite coaster models ever. The spinning trains, along with the very nice layout and the elements that it provides, very much make a well-rounded ride, and a ride that I think would work well at Great Adventure. Now, they would have to make this massive. Like the Striker and the standard launch coaster, I don't see a normal size of this. I would see something massive, something like a Mack Hyper, something that big. Now, there are a few other ride models I want to talk about that are not from Mack Rides, not as likely as the ones mentioned, but I could definitely see these coming in the future. The first one is an S&S launch coaster. When I say S&S launch, that could mean anything. That could mean a magnetic launch, that could mean an air launch. It just depends on what they want to do. I don't know if they would want to replace a hydraulic launch with an air launch coaster. I don't know if that would be in their playbook, if they would be up to do that. I also looked at B&M and their launched looper models. Look at rides like Rapterra, Thunderbird, and Pipeline, which recently opened up at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, they're making more and more of these launch coasters, and while these are phenomenal coasters, I would say that B&M shines the most in their Hyper and Giga models. So I was thinking, if they incorporated a B&M launched looper, and then added some elements like high-speed turns and airtime moments, I think you would have a truly standout coaster, and one of B&M's best. But like I said, they would have to go all out. Finally, I want to talk about a ride model that might be surprising for me to not put at number 1. It is the Intamin Blitz. I think out of all of these, this is the one I would personally want the most, but I don't know if Cedar Fair's management with Six Flags would want this here. I don't know if they would want to replace an Intamin with an Intamin. Cedar Fair's relationship with Intamin was not the best, and though Six Flags has a good relationship, I don't know if they would want to rekindle that with the other half of management. They could add another 300-foot plus element, followed by some of the craziest airtime and positive G moments that you have ever seen on a coaster. Overall, I think it is really sad to see these rides go, especially all at once. Like I said, this is a truly massive decision, and one for the coaster history books. I'm sure that this area of the park near the front will be nothing but a land of speculation for the next 2 years, and when its replacement finally opens up in 2026, I will be heavily anticipating. If you got to ride Kingda Ka or any of these other rides, let me know in the comments below what you thought of them, and until next time, this is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.